Welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Hello. I think, as we have been doing the last few weeks, we're going to start and end probably with a click picture. Trevor, do you want to explain to our listening audience what that is?
Ben has created a random picture getter. It gets from a Board Panda list of 170 odd Shutterstock photos, and then we get one of those from our random generator, chuck it into the Discord channel, and we don't know what it is until we hit the enter button. Then we riff on that, and then we go back over to click pitch like normal.
Yeah, so we're going to make a game design out of it. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here comes the picture. It's fucking gourd fruit again. So we have an old-looking man, pretty fit, in budgie smugglers with flowers all over him, by which I mean Speedos, holding squash of some kind, 2 big round squash in his arms, and various other squash in baskets and piled at his feet. He seems to be in a field.
Okay, so I'm getting the feel of like a California Games-esque game based off of like different sports with gourds.
Well, we did like mountain climbing. Well, and I was thinking we did the mountain climbing like California Games-esque sort of thing, or like the skate or die sort of thing.
Yeah,
this is like a farm-based one.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, it can be specifically gourd-based stuff if we want, but maybe just like a farm-based like sports tournament.
Yeah,
and there's a bunch of different events.
Yeah, so I'm seeing like pumpkin bowling. I'm seeing like gourd stacking.
I think what he's trying to do right there is which one is heavier. It's like it's the skill is figuring out which squash is the heavier, and for some reason you have to do it almost completely naked.
Yes,
it's just part of that farmer whimsy. They're very
in
sexual
like a
beings, farmers.
Sort of.
It gets boring. It gets boring out there on the farm. Sometimes you just gotta get naked with some squash. I don't know what to tell you.
And rub all over your body.
So when exactly. So I'm thinking, like, in modern times, I feel like these sorts of games are going to be like couch competitive kind of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 to 8, up to 4 or 8 players at the same time, or like taking in turns, obviously, but a tournament between them all.
Yeah, definitely.
So, let's run through like what a standard game of this would look like. Everyone joins, they choose their clothes and their person, their farmer.
Yep.
And particularly their hat. You've got all sorts of unlockable farmer hats. The classic floppy straw hat.
Yep.
The
corncob pipe. You've got basically, it's almost like the Scarecrow games.
Yeah, okay. You've got all these different unlockables. Perfect. And then it's like, all right, you've got 4 stages. Do you want to choose one or randomly select? Randomly select, ding, 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 ding. You see things going past, gourd weighing, pumpkin throwing, squash stacking,
like a squash and spoon race where you got to put the spoon in your mouth and then balance the squash on a spoon. It takes a lot of jaw strength.
yeah, you got to train well for that one. Is there a training stage between the rounds where you're like you're basically betting on what sort of skill or strength you're going to need for the next random random
maybe
selection?
You want to choose the unusual looking farmer with like the really, really strong jaw, because that if the squash and spoon race comes up,
well, you might get squash and spoon as well as eat an entire watermelon, as well as milk. No, not going there.
As well as
the rat
shot
catcher
put,
game, which we're not going to explain.
As well as shot put, but with a gourd. And then you've got like the hammer throw, but it's throwing a squash with a chain.
It's squash on a string. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a string, like it's just a chain. Yeah, exactly. And so you've got to train up the right things. And the grand prize when you win is a big squash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, they cheaped out. They just went with seeds, so you can grow your own big squash.
Also, okay, is there an aspect then also of farming in between the tournaments, and if your like crops get used in if you had the winning shot put squash, do you get like extra points, bonus points for having farmed and produced that squash?
Well, maybe. I was trying to think what other sports you could have, and I kept on coming back to discus, but I was like, how do you flatten a squash? Like,
I mean, you can just cut it into slices.
You squash
enough, squashes are hard to squash. They just break. They don't really squish. So, no, I'm just picturing a big pumpkin that you like cut into slices somehow, like cross sections.
Oh god! Oh, you got a pumpkin carving contest. How did we not have that in there? Like,
no, I think that's too on the nose. Farmers, that's just like that's what the city folk do. It's ridiculous. Why would you put a face on a pumpkin? They're fucking food. What a waste. Instead, we're going to throw them, weigh them, stack them. Then eat them.
Okay, I think that's actually a pretty good set of games that we've got there.
Yeah,
we got something out of it at least.
3, 2, 1, click. We're moving over to Click Pitch.
So this time, Ramped Up Click Pitch is a game where we each have a phrase generator in front of us. On the count of 3, 2, 1, click, we're going to click refresh. We're going to get an adjective and a noun and throw it at each other. Just because it worked so well last week.
Sure thing.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Hairy winning.
Expendable trumping.
Trumping? Oh, no. Oh, shit. I think you play one of Trump's toupees that he's thrown away. And now you're running against him in the 2020 election. On top of Bernie. It's like a Ratatouille situation.
No. Oh, no. I do like this idea of like a sort of like an adventure game, well, an action adventure with the toupee trying to get back to its home.
Okay. All right. So it's just sort of the beginning is like Trump throws away one of his toupees because it has embarrassed him for the last time. And then, yeah, it becomes this sort of like slides along the ground. It's alive.
Oh,
Toy Story-esque fashion.
I'm imagining that it's doing the old, sort of caterpillar movement of scrunching up and then moving out and scrunching up and moving out. Like,
yeah,
that's its
absolutely.
whole movement thing.
Yeah, I'm also picturing almost a bit of like the expression of like the magic carpet in Aladdin, where kind of it can grab some of its corners or its like hair strands and they become arms temporarily to like make an expression.
Yep.
But it doesn't have a permanent kind of anthropomorphic shape.
No, and I think as you go through, like your first couple of levels are just it's sort of moving around, but then when you defeat one of the boss characters, and the way that you end up defeating it is you jump onto its head, and all of a sudden these tendrils go into the boss's head, and that's your new character that you're moving around for the next little while.
So you're getting a bit of like Mario Odyssey style thing, except instead of throwing a hat, you just throw yourself onto them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Well, and could it be sort of not quite, but like a Katamari Damacy sort of thing where at first you can only, possess small creatures like rats.
Yeah,
where it's
but
just
as you get more powerful,
covering its entire body, but then then it's like, oh, now I'm on a cat that has this lovely coiffed hair, and now I'm on like a fucking mule.
A horse's ass.
Yeah, and eventually, well, can it possess inanimate objects too, or is it just things with brains?
I think it's like the tendrils reach down deep into the brain to actually control it.
So it actually is
like
Ratatouille like, except because do they have to be bald? No, that wouldn't work. Then how would you possess any animal? Except, unless it has to be one of those gross cats that has no hair.
Well, what I was thinking is maybe the toupee actually has like a shaving kit that it can pull out and do a very quick shave down.
Well, part of the puzzle is you have to find a way to shave a rat, and then you can take it over.
I like.
No, I think that's maybe adding too much complexity.
I like it as the final finishing move that you just sort of land down on top, and it just sort of does it in slow motion, where you see it pull out the straight razor and like a little lathering brush and leather. Single swipe to take off the hair, and bang! It just glues itself to the
plops
to the
itself
head.
on.
Yeah,
I like.
And then you see that whole Mortal Kombat X-ray vision where it shows the tendrils literally leaching down into the brain.
Yeah, for sure. Barbarality, because it's cutting the hair. And so, well, okay, so a couple of things. First, we have to get super high quality classic Disney animators to like animate this fucking hair. It's going to be expressive.
Mm-hmm.
Picturing super smooth style cell animation.
Okay, yep.
And then secondly,
so
definitely has to have a
like
super
that,
dark ending where...
When you say cell animation, are you talking like the older style cell animation? Or are you...
Well, they don't actually have to animate it on cells. I guess I just mean like...
That
what
sort
you
of
would
feel.
The feel that you would associate with classic Disney cell animation.
So almost a little bit Cuphead-esque.
In
that hyper cartoon style.
Sort of. Like, that's very... I'm thinking...
It's very 1930s, 1940s. But
I'm thinking more like... maybe like 90s Disney.
Okay. Maybe
like Little
as
Mermaid
early
style.
as Little Mermaid. Yep. Which is 1988, but still.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Lion King-ish. Like that sort of just top of the game animation, 2D animation.
Yep. Mulan. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then I think you build yourself up, and we got to have a super dark ending where like the final showdown is against Trump again, and you have to knock off his toupee and then take over his brain, and now you're the president, baby. It's President Toupee.
And you know what it actually shows is this toupee was thrown away on the last season of The Apprentice. So he's actually had a different toupee controlling him since he's been a president.
Oh, I wasn't thinking the other toupee was even controlling him. I think
100%.
He's just a fucking fuck knuckle, and then this toupee takes over, and somehow there's a big change in Donald Trump, and he becomes totally progressive.
Well, it's basically it turns him back into the Democrat that he used to be back in the 90s.
Yeah, he used to pretend to be. Well, did you watch? And this is slightly problematic because of the actor involved, but House of Cards. Did you ever watch it?
No.
Okay, there was a great scene at the end of like season 2 or 3. Spoiler, in case anyone can stand watching Kevin Spacey anymore. Where his character becomes president, and he's been building up to this, and it's like the final scene, and it's actually really fucking haunting because he finally sort of gets behind the big desk and it's like slowly zooming in on him. And he's got this thing where he like taps on the desk with his ring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just perfect timing. And he's just like, boom, boom. And on the second tap, it like goes to black. It's just like, oh, fuck, now he's in power. So we just have that scene that it's the toupee. You know that the toupee is now controlling Donald Trump. He's like, yes, finally I got here and I'm like sitting in the biggest, most powerful seat in the world. And I'm a toupee. Yeah. I think we'll move on from that weird, hairy situation. 3, 2, 1, click. Oh, God. This is funny.
I'll say mine first.
All right.
Glistening, uncovering.
Oh, God. Well, this is mostly funny because we're recording this, as everyone knows, in the middle of a pandemic. Obsessed contacting. What was yours? Glistening, uncovering?
Yep.
Oh, boy. Don't make a porn game. Don't make a porn game. Don't make a porn game.
Yeah, the problem is, every time I read Glistening Uncovering, I look over at the guy with the gourds again.
It's the sequel. Now, it is a porn game with gourds.
He's so got the 70s porn stash as well, like...
Right, what glistens... Maybe, what glistens when you uncover it?
Gold.
Does it glisten? I guess it glistens.
Gold,
glisten to me feels like slimy or wet. I guess shiny.
Wet gold.
Wet gold.
Shining with a sparkling light. The glistening golden dome. So, yeah.
Yeah. Of something wet or greasy is what I'm saying. Shine with a sparkling light. A sparkling light reflected from something wet.
Okay. Golden shower. I had to say it.
Man, I like these words, as in I think there's something there. If we can get past the smart, I don't know if that's possible.
It's there. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So you're talking wet and slimy.
Ooh.
What if?
Yeah. Okay.
You've uncovered like this old, like, you know how people in the 1800s used to pan for gold and all this sort of stuff. Well,
yes.
This old forgotten like riverbed, because it's like covered in you know, like a blue-green algae sort of thing, so it's all slimy. But there's lots of gold in their heels.
Okay.
And so you've uncovered this.
Put a pin in that.
Okay.
Because what if you're a snail who's lost its shell? That's why you're glistening and uncovered, and why you obsessively need contact with things, because that's how you stick to it.
Yeah. So in other
trying
words,
to find your shell.
People keep on calling you a slug now.
Yeah.
And your whole thing is, we're different animals.
We're different creatures. I just lost my shell, which I don't even know we can survive without because it's part of our body, but in this situation we can, because it's a video game. And I'm kind of picturing...
And the video game is called Dude, Where's My Shell?
Dude, where's my shell? Fuck yes. You play 2 slugs. Snails. Oh, fuck, I did it.
You play 1 slug and a snail.
Well, yes. You play 1 slug and 1 snail. I'm almost picturing, is this one of those... you control one with one thumbstick and one with the other.
Yeah, kind of like brothers,
like brothers, or yeah, and
that is a cool idea. Yep.
And I'm picturing that maybe like the bumpers switch you between controlling one end of like. So if the left one is the snail, you can like control either the front or the back of it with the thumbstick to like sort of squish onto things.
Okay, because
to, like,
snails are so fucking slow. How are we going to deal with like the time mechanics in this? Because I think there's got to be time mechanics.
Maybe we just sort of establish right away that snails are only slow from the point of view of humans, And in their own point of view, they're actually very lithe and agile. And so you just, if you ever see like human behavior in the background of these levels, it's like going really fast.
There's literally a constant blur in the background.
Yeah, it's like time lapse behind you. But
when the snail like can go super 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 fast, everything slows down to a crawl, and you see all the humans and cars passing behind you, sort of thing.
Right. Okay. They get like some sort of boost.
Yeah,
boost thing,
and it goes, holy shit, we're not really that fast.
So yeah, I like this mechanic of like, you know, kind of having puzzles where you have to, grip from the ceiling and like hang or something, and maybe you have to even have the two of them hooked together to like reach something. So you kind of like having to control the snail as one end of it is like stuck to the ceiling with its goo, but the other end of it is holding onto the slug, which is hanging, and you're having to control like the bottom end of that to like swing and grab something or whatever.
Okay,
those sorts of puzzles where, or you know, one of them has to get somewhere to hit a switch to let the other one through, or different things.
I didn't play through Brothers all the way.
No, me neither.
I wanted to because it was such a cool idea for a game, but I just sort of lost focus on it after a while. And but I can definitely see the idea of you know, having one that doesn't think that he can get into this small space because he keeps remembering, keeps on forgetting that he doesn't have his shell, and he keeps on going, no, I can't go in there. My shell will get stuck.
Yep. Now here's the thing, and I don't know if this is a spoiler for Brothers because I didn't play all the way to the end. What if one of them dies? Like, I feel like having played both of them all the way through this game and then you've got nothing to do with like your right hand for a while would be really kind of affecting. Yeah. Maybe the slug dies sacrificing himself to get the shell back for the snail.
So, I mean, we're really lucky that we didn't go the smutty game, because you know exactly what you'd be using that right hand for.
I mean, the slugs are sexy too. 3 to 1 click. Dry mold.
Disperse conceit.
Oh, okay. Disperse and dry mold go together well, because I feel like spreading out like mold spores, dispersing them in some way.
How is mold spelt? Is it with a U?
No. MOLD.
So it's actually, you know, it's a mold of something.
Fungus. Yeah. No. MOLD is the fungus.
Is it?
No, it's both. It's either. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that you can use either for either. Yeah, both. They're the same, basically.
Okay.
It's just British versus something else. Or
I thought there was actually the other change to it. So there you go.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, like spores, mold spores.
Okay. Yep.
And then we just have to figure out where conceit comes into it. Is it that it?
I think it's where, if you remember the game I Am Bread.
Yes.
It's like a sequel.
In fact, I was going to reference that in the previous one.
Yeah. It's like a sequel to that.
I Am Mold.
Well, I am
Moldy Bread.
Yeah, I Am Moldy Bread. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And so, you know, the bread sees itself as, you know, conceited or vain. Even though it's
moldy bread a zombie?
Could be. Yeah.
Maybe you're the last piece of bread in the loaf that didn't go moldy, and it's like a zombie horde shooter, but you're controlling it like I Am Bread somehow. So you're like selecting which corner of the bread grabs the machine gun.
I Am Bread 2, bread harder.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but I can really see like the excessive pride in oneself. Like this
Sure.
bread is so like, veiny.
Veiny. Well, the moldy ones are veiny. Well, you can use it for both. So, and I mean, you can also use conceit as just like an idea, right? Like a
ingenious or fanciful
the
comparison
situation,
or metaphor.
in a way, like the narrative idea.
Yeah.
A fanciful notion, as the thing says. Although, you know, we're in a pandemic, zombies are getting less fanciful by the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this bread fighting off hordes of moldy bread zombies? I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's got to be.
I feel like, so if we do get serious for a second with the gameplay, is this more of like setting off traps by swinging around as a piece of bread? Are you still worried about getting dirty, or is that less of an issue now?
I think it's less of an issue now. I mean, you're more just don't want to be. You just don't want to be
infected.
What's it called? Infected with mold.
Yeah. All right. So you got like areas of spores you have to avoid.
Yeah.
Different types of bread zombies. So you've got like moldy bread rolls that explode into spores.
Mm-hmm.
You've got moldy croissants, which have some other sort of power. Moldy hot dog buns, which can just like reach you. They've got a longer reach.
Okay, so what? I know that you were saying that you like the idea of like the iron bread sort of controls, but I think that could be a little bit.
Yeah, well,
hard.
maybe we pull that back a bit from the full on, literally having to swing a piece of bread around by the corners which can grip onto things, but and make it more. Maybe a little bit, it's physics-based, but it's sort of that physics-based where your bread's always trying to, like, stand up on its end. Do you know what I mean? So you're not necessarily controlling the legs. The legs. I mean, the bottom half. The bottom corners.
What I like about it is, though, because it doesn't actually have a head or anything like that, it can be up any way. Like...
Any direction, yeah.
You know, it can basically grip onto the ceiling, kind of like... What happens in Iron Bread, but it doesn't matter what corners it is. It just transfers the gun down to the lower.
Yeah,
the lower.
And
bits.
then you're literally like hanging off the ceiling, shooting moldy zombies with a gun in each hand. Yeah.
Oh, you can even have that awesome scene from The Matrix where they're in the lobby, shooting everywhere, running along the walls, and
it's like spinning.
You can basically have the bread running along the wall.
Oh, right. Yep. Well, I'm just thinking he does that cartwheel.
Yeah.
And it's just a piece of fucking bread spinning through the air with guns on a couple of the corners.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I love that. Yeah, so I think this is kind of just a bit of a wobbly physics wave shooter, basically, or like level,
it's kind of
sort of.
It's kind of almost Left 4 Dead-ish as well, in the fact that you can have like those bloated sort of explodey
like the different
sort of mold.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking with the bread, like a big knot roll. Well, and I think so. I'm sort of picturing, yes, Left 4 Dead, but less of a linear kind of getting from one end to the level and the other, and more of you're in a room of the house and you just have to fight off all the zombies for a certain amount of time. But you've got a lot of movement options around the level, so you can like trigger off a thing that flings you up into the air, and you're shooting them as you fly through the air, spin through the air, and land splat on the wall. And it's like, okay, flop down the wall to get over to, across the shelf. And they're all like climbing up in piles, kind of like World War Z, where they can make piles of themselves. Yeah. Do they just stack themselves like just like nice, neat stacks of bread? This moldy bread to like reach the heights. Just one big loaf.
I think if you want to actually be able to move along the walls a little bit quicker, you've got to like find some water that you can like wet the corners a little bit. because that'll
to
keep...
really stick. Yeah, well, you can have some different like status effects. So yeah, if you're wet, you'll stick more to the walls, but you can't control your guns as well because you're all soggy.
Oh, and you got like a wet and dry meter, and if you're exposed to oxygen for too long, then you start drying out. So you got to actually,
or maybe just like you've got like a soft and hard meter or something, as in like you could toast yourself, and then you can like dip yourself in water to come back to normal. I know that's not how bread works, but
it does in this game
as a continuum. Yeah, maybe when you toast, you're a bit more of a like you've got better melee moves. To like push him back and stuff. So you're just a bit stronger and a bit tougher. Yeah, that's really cool. Like that could work too. It'll work well.
That's really cool.
And then we'll move on to I Am Bread with a Vengeance.
I Am
Good
Bread,
Day to Be Bread
4.0.
Whatever it is. Yeah,
whatever. A good day to bread hard.
A good day to be bread, yeah.
What was Die Hard 4.0 called?
Be bread and live long and be bread. So, something like that.
Live free or die bread.
Live free or die bread. There you go. Yep, love it.
Or is it live free and bread hard?
Live free and hard bread.
Okay.
Shouting naughty.
Potent caretaker.
Okay. Makes them potent.
Well, if you think of potent potables, which is basically alcohol.
Well, no, I mean, I know what potent means. I'm just trying to think of if they're a caretaker of something, what makes them, the second definition here, able to achieve an erection or to reach an orgasm. No, I think we just go generally with the having great power effect.
Okay, so what was yours?
I can't remember. Shouting naughty.
Okay, so strong shouting. I'm thinking it's almost like a 2D side-scroller version of Skyrim, in that you've got strong shouts that you can do.
Okay.
But you're one of the other characters in the game, in that you're originally only like you're not one of the Dragonborn, but you just happen to read one of the dragon like word walls or whatever it was.
Is this some sort of Jumanji situation, but with Skyrim, where you're playing Skyrim on your vacuum cleaner, and because every device has Skyrim now. And you hear the drums start up, and suddenly you have Skyrim powers, and you're trying to figure out all your different shouts. And you've got like directional shouts and area of effect shouts and shouts of fire. I don't know. I didn't play through that fucking game. What are your different shouts anyway? What do they do?
You've got like Dragon's Breath. You've got Clear Skies. You've got like a pushing away sort of shout. You've got like a speedy shout.
Shout fire, shout at the clouds. Shout off.
Let it all out.
Yes.
These are the things.
They're the things that I shout about, so shout off. I'm shouting at you.
So shout off.
Okay. I'm sort of picturing that these fun shouts in the real world, right? Like, what are the effects of having Skyrim shouts when you go to work?
Okay, so is this after this character's gone through like this Skyrim adventure, has come back into the normal world but still has all the shouts, are you saying?
No, I think it's more like the drums start up and then just one dude pops out of the game and they're like, I've got a quest for you here. It's how to do some shouts. Go to work.
So normally he's like I'm imagining that normally this guy's a caretaker at like a graveyard or something
museum
like that.
Or something. Okay, yeah, graveyard, sure. Need you to shout your way in and rob a grave.
Is just listening to I don't know who did shout. Was it Tears for Fears or
maybe
it was Tears for Fears? Oh my god!
Well done. Jeez, good pull.
Jesus Christ. So he's listening to like the best of Tears for Fears, and he's like,
it's just that
he's
one
just
song.
yelling out, "Shout!" It's like you see all the like the headstones just get blown away and all this sort of stuff, and it's like, oh shit, I've actually got all these powers, and has to try and keep him contained. But then the zombie uprising happens, and that's where shit goes real.
Sorry, I was looking up whether there are any other fun Tears for Fears songs that could be turned into powers.
Did you find any?
No.
I'm actually pretty impressed that I actually said Tears for Fears instead of Disturbed. So
I didn't realize they did Mad World. Mad World's theirs. It's nowhere near as like evocative in their song because it's got all this weird like 80s synth in it, but and it's too fast. Anyway, I've completely derailed this one. So,
redraw and kick.
Yeah.
Okay, this is. I'll go first. Downtown Meringue.
Okay. Missed signing.
Downtown. Cruising through the alley.
Making my way downtown. Saying there's something on my meringue. Is this a famous? Is this a famous meringue? It's like Meringue Monroe, and they're at a signing. Well, they're trying to get to a signing. Mm-hmm. They have to avoid water because they'll dissolve. Or is it like? Is this? Do we have a sweets world in our vast history?
I don't think we do.
Did we bring it into Starch Wars as like the bad guys?
No, I don't think that's ever been.
I don't think we should. I know
think
we had a bakery one. We did have a bakery one once, but that wasn't like an ongoing.
Yeah, I see this as almost a good idea to have separate to Starch Wars because
I don't think we need to cross
processed food. You don't need to cross that.
No, not until they both get popular enough that you need like a dimensional rift to go between the worlds.
Yeah, it's kind of like Marvel and DC
in like a what if. Yeah. All right, so we're starting our DC side of our two major food-based properties, and this is like processed and baked goods in a world where meringues can become movie stars.
Okay, so the question is, is this actually? Are these all anthropomorphic and they are the only occupants, or are humans actually involved in this somewhat? Is it like a world where kind of like the what was that movie called? Happy Time Murders, was it?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea that you've got...
Well, it's humans and baked and like food stuff living side by side.
Yeah.
Dealing with racism and, things being eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. So is it unusual then for baked goods to have become famous or... I'm just thinking...
I think
is there prejudice against... baked goods trying to become, or is it fairly, equal now and people are used to it?
It's fairly equal now. I think, back in the day when, Marilyn Monroe used to put on a fuckload of makeup just to make sure that, they couldn't tell that she was actually a meringue.
Right. To describe it, disguise yourself as a human somehow.
Yeah.
But the makeup was just sprinkles and they weren't at all convinced.
Okay, so what were your words again?
Missed signing.
Missed signing. Okay, so is this one of those sort of games where your character has like missed their big opportunity to
like
join
sign
up with
on
his
to
agent?
something?
and has to like travel across the city and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, well,
Make
I'm
their
almost
way
thinking
downtown.
this is like a series of scenes. Yeah, as they like travel across the city. I guess kind of like a not a point and click adventure game, but like you've just got a couple of relatively straightforward puzzles to solve in each area, but it's more about you talk to the people that are there, you get a bit of world building, you get a bit of personality, and like then you find the person that helps you get to the next stage. And it's kind of this like series of events where your cat breaks down and then a dog chases you because it wants to eat your delicious egg white sugar flesh. And then, you get mugged.
Okay. So I really feel like this game needs a big antagonist, like who's actually caused this signing to be missed. All
right, so yes, I think you do have an antagonist, and I think it definitely has to be like the big 80s rap star Vanilla Slice.
Okay.
And he's the one who he's been on top of the baked goods celebrity game for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And now you, Meringue Monroe, are like coming up. You're an up and comer. You're all innocent. And like the crowd loves you. And so Vanilla Slice is like, fuck that.
But what you don't realize, and this is where the whole like big bad DC sort of thing that's going to be filtered throughout the next few games is what's actually behind Vanilla Slice is the American Dental Association. That's right, I'm bringing back dentists as their fucking antagonist. We haven't had dentists for a long fucking time.
Well, dentists definitely have to be... So Vanilla Slice has been bought out by Big Dental.
Yep.
To, like, poison the well against sugary sweets being celebrities because they're bad for your teeth.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Okay. That's fine. So you're uncovering this.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the bus stop, and that's where you meet your good friend, Donut DeVito. He's gonna help you along the way. Get to the agent, uncover the whole thing. So I'm trying to think of more puns.
Come on, come up with some more characters. You're always good at this.
Jam tart, meringue, Claire Danes.
Claire Danes.
She's there too. All right, that's enough.
Oh shit.
So yeah, you and your celebrity baked good pals bring down Vanilla Slice and the Dental Association.
That thing is, obviously the Dental Association, they're still stuck in the background. Like, it's only in like the the after credit scene that you actually see that, a broken and beaten Vanilla Slice turns up in like...
Well, look, because in this world, the Dental Association is basically the fucking KKK against the sentient baked goods, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and so I think there's just a sort of a through line of them being this evil group, and then it's at the end, it's like the post-credit scene after Vanilla Slice is defeated, and he's like on his custody knees in front of the shadowy dentist cabal, and they're like, "You failed us, Vanilla Slice."
But 100% you cannot see his face, because as we all know from those Oral-B ads,
it's the 1 out of 10 dentist who doesn't. Yeah,
we cannot show his face because Rob is a dentist. Hi, Rob. Remember those ads?
Yes.
So you cannot see his face at all. Like his face just doesn't appear in the scene at all. Like backs to camera and all this sort of stuff, and you just hear this weird sort of raspy voice, almost like what's his name from Inspector Gadget? Trying to think of what the bad guy's name
Dr.
is.
Claw.
Yeah,
Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like, it's like a Vanilla Slice, you failed us. The Dental Association. So we're going to have to go to our next best agent, Benedict Cookie Batch. Batch of cookies.
It's literally just a batch of cookies.
It's just a batch of cookies. It's like a bunch of sentient cookies that all like form different shapes. Benedict Cookie Batch.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
3 to 1 click.
3 to 1 click. I'll edit that so it's faster and funnier.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Fuzzy Poet.
Shriveled electromagnetic.
Okay. That's an interesting combination.
Yeah.
Poet's always hard. Like, doing anything with words in a game is always tricky.
Yeah.
Anything mechanic-wise. Obviously, you can do narrative and like stuff that's written well, but that's hard to do in 5 or 10 minutes. Come up with it being effective.
I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't actually have it that in the spare time, this character likes poetry. Like, that's just a
throwaway. Yeah. Everything this guy says rhymes.
Oh, God.
What's fuzzy and shriveled? This isn't a riddle. This isn't a joke. I'm actually asking what we can have that's fuzzy and shriveled. Is it like...
I looked at the guy with the gourds again.
Stop looking at the gourd guy. It's tainting your ideas. Lucky you can't see his taint.
Oh, God.
That's something that's fuzzy and shriveled. Guy's taint.
Let's click again.
Yeah.
Oh, that was freaking hilarious. Oh, shit.
Oh, God. This... I don't even know if this is a thing, but it sounds dirty. I think it's a cross between two dirty things. Okay, mine is spreading brain.
Soaked artery.
Okay, so it's some sort of it's anatomy based.
Spreading
that guy
brain.
was totally spreading brain.
Oh, God. My head is just not in that place right now.
It's because of the gourd guy.
Yeah.
Get him off your screen. Close Discord. Well, don't close Discord.
No, I'm ready to actually go with my.
Oh, with your image, yeah. No, I think click again on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Dead viewing.
Mislaid gravy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say grave.
No.
Would have been perfect. Mislaid gravy. I mean, you could use it as an adjective like, this hole's pretty gravy. We should bury someone here. It's a pretty gravy piece of dirt over there. Would make a good cemetery.
So this is an alternate world in which instead of groovy in the 70s, everything was gravy.
Yep. Gravy. Oh, it's gravy. Gravy, man.
And what was your words?
Dead viewing.
Ooh.
Is this like an I see dead people kind of situation?
Yeah, I think the characters like appearing at like a will reading, and they've been given the prized gravy boat. That is the number one ticket item from the will.
Okay,
but it's been missing for the last 20 years, and so it's now a quest to find.
The quest for the gravy boat.
Yeah.
Gotcha. The holy gravy boat.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this an epic quest with sirens and dragons and things, or is it like...
I think this could almost be like a Secret Life of Walter Mitty sort of thing. Of the fact that maybe this is a story being retold, But the story that's being retold has got like dragons and shit all the way through it.
Right, it's like magical realism situation. And so you get to you get to the pawn shop and the troll behind the desk, who you then sort of reveal later is just a big guy.
Yep.
You know, tells you, oh yeah, I had the gravy boat, but I sold it.
Who'd you sell it to?
Some fucking dragon. He wanted it for his hoard.
Rightio then.
You'll find him at the library.
The library?
Because the library. You just cut to the real world and everyone's just like, what the fuck is this guy talking in a weird accent?
I just for some reason I turned this character into like a Peter Falk like character talking to his grandson, a la the Princess Bride.
Right, Princess Bride, yeah. Yeah, totally.
Going on about the six-fingered man that killed his father or whatever it was.
Yeah. The gravy thief, the great gravy robbery, the great gravy heist,
the
great gravy grab,
great granddad's gravy grab,
great granddad's great gravy grab, gravy grab. Fuck.
I don't know why, but that's just awesome.
All right, so again, is this sort of
great granddad's great gravy Gradventure?
Gradventure.
Oh shit. Okay, 3, 2, 1, enter.
Oh shit! Got to switch over. Go away, good man. Oh, what the? Oh god, it's one of those.
It's one of those really ugly.
We have a guy who looks weirdly like David Tennant.
Yes,
holding one of those like blobfish.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
I think so.
I'm going to search for blobfish.
It looks rather tender. Like
it is called the smooth
this.
head blobfish.
You know, it's almost as if he's trying to get this blobfish back into the water.
It's true. He looks like he's saying goodbye. I think this is one of those like, no, go away. Like it's for your own good. Don't come back situations where he's like crying and sending the blobfish away to like because it's not safe for the blobfish to stay with him, even though he loves him.
You can tell that he's sort of pulled the blobfish out of the esky because just the
got a
collars of his wrists are basically covered in water, or they're soaked through, and it's like he's giving it a final kiss goodbye as he throws it into the ocean.
Yes, exactly. So this is the finale. This is the climax of this story.
Yeah. 100%.
How does it begin? How long is this man? Is this like his childhood blobfish friend? Is this like a blobfish that found him in his time of need, but now he like has to let it go? What are we thinking?
Okay, I'm thinking this is all blobfish are psychic.
All blobfish go to heaven.
Yeah.
All blobfish are psychic. Okay.
So he's had like an imaginary friend his whole life. That he thought was, just in his own head. Turns out it's this blobfish. And his blobfish has basically been contacting him psychically his whole life.
So did he know... Wait, did he have like a blobfish and he just didn't make a connection? Or it's just this blobfish has sort of been contacting him somehow?
It turns out that all imaginary friends are actually psychic connections to blobfish. But in this case, this is the first ever blobfish that has been taken from the depths and been experimented on. And so...
Oh, okay. So so this is a kid whose imaginary friend started telling him that he needs to, like, go to a certain address. And you're going to find a weird blob-shaped fish there, and you need to save it, basically.
Well, I think it's... What it is this character obviously has grown up now. When they were about 9 or 10, as when most imaginary friends sort of disappear, that's when the connection sort of... the blobfish realised didn't need to actually help this kid anymore. But as this was the last kid that he actually contacted before he got caught, the connection is still there. So he's just reactivated the connection to the last kid. I'm seeing that he's like, I don't know. I think middle management at a like law firm or something like that.
Right. Okay. So this is like a Drop Dead Fred situation.
Yeah. It's a drop dead Fred.
It's a blob dead Fred. Sorry, I'm just looking up. This is actually, it's kind of sad. Blobfish only look like that because they're deep sea creatures, and when they're brought from the depths, they like expand and just like fucking. They're basically just blown up from the inside.
Mm.
They actually look relatively normal when they're under the water. But anyway, we'll continue with the common knowledge of what the blobfish is because it's funnier.
Oh yeah, they look kind of normal underwater, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great, but yeah. So I like the idea that he's now reaching out for help from his previous friend.
Yeah. It's one of these things where like the kid now grown up is not happy with his life. Hasn't found his way.
I think that he's almost like Scrooge-like in the fact that he's got no whimsy or anything like that. He's really nasty to all his underlings and all that sort of stuff. Here's
the thing. What does the blobfish sound like? What's its voice?
Of all things, David Tennant.
It's actually David Tennant doing the voice.
Yeah, of the blobfish,
as well as being the main character. No,
no. Danny DeVito is the is the middle management guy.
He's the Okay, that's fine. All right, so what we're getting from the actual image is just it's David Tennant with his character, the blobfish, in a behind the scenes look of the game where Danny DeVito plays a character.
It just so happens that David Tennant did all the motion capture for the middle management guy.
But it's voiced by Danny DeVito. Okay, and the guy's voiced by Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
Danny DeVito did all the motion capture for the blobfish.
Yeah, it's really confusing. And then it basically turns into like this huge Death Stranding like game, where you're
just like trying to get this blobfish,
get this blobfish from across the country back to its natural habitat, because it told you that it's it needs to get literally across the country. So I'm thinking that it's this guy, his esky, and a blobfish.
Well, because its natural habitat is Australia. So are we going across Australia?
I think you're going to have to
Australia.
I think you're going to have to.
So you start in like Perth, and you got to get to Tasmania.
Yes, that last little journey.
That last little journey across the Bass Strait is like you have to swim it with your blobfish friend.
It's a real prick.
Yeah, it sucks. But I'm picturing you get it back in the water and it goes down deep enough and it compresses back into its not less ugly self. Feels finally back in its natural habitat. And it's happy. It's happy. It's this amazing moment. Tears.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about it right now, like how awesome the game would actually look, because it's going to have that photorealism of
Death Stranding,
of Death Stranding or LA Noire.
Oh my god! Can you imagine how that fucking blobfish's skin is going to look? Subsurface scattering, glistening fucking shininess normal maps.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to look amazing.
And I mean, the voice alone is just going to be, so
oh god,
smooth.
David Tennant is amazing.
Yeah. Alonzi.
Is he keeping his Scottish accent?
Or is he doing his American accent from Grace Point, the US adaptation of like Broadchurch?
Of Broadchurch. Oh god, I can't believe they did that. No. At the very least British, but
yeah. No, he'll definitely have his
I think
proper Scottish accent.
Scottish. Yeah.
Doesn't need to have the received common like accent that he did in Doctor Who.
Right. And then you got Danny DeVito, obviously, doing his Oscar-worthy
Australian accent,
but which they don't. Australian accent, right? Oh my god! Fuck. Yes. Now I desperately want to hear Danny DeVito do an Australian accent. Oh my god! I don't want to do anything more in my life.
You forgot that it was in.
I forgot that it was Australian.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to Google it right now. Danny DeVito doing an Australian accent. I hope this exists. Oh, no, he did. He tried to speak Welsh once. Damn it. Oh, my God. It's my new mission in life. All right. Well, on that note, as I get a new quest in life, we will end the episode. If you want to find us online, go to podchaser.com/bitstorm. Check out all our previous episodes. Leave us some reviews, definitely. Please let us know what you thought of the episode. Just shoot us a message, whatever. We're also part of the 8-Bit Collective. This is a group of podcasts around video gaming, pop culture, lots of different things. Go check them out at 8bit.net. Tons of great shows, great friends, great people.
We'd like it if you could check out the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network. Just look for the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network on Facebook, or the @AGP Network on Twitter. And finally, we'd like to thank Kuridas for the song Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure. Fuck.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And I'm Danny DeVito doing an Australian accent.